Hi everyone, today my goal is to give you a crash course overview into Canvas and specifically looking at what things might look like for students and what questions you might have as you're supporting them. So here's an example of a dashboard. You probably have one as a teacher end, but students' dashboard looks very similar. So all of their courses are here. They can rearrange them and order them to help them stay organized. So you can encourage them to do that. And then on the side, they have a to-do list for all of their courses. So any due dates that are approaching for any of the courses they're enrolled in will show up on their dashboard. And if they click on this, it will take them directly to that activity. They can also view their grades and see their progress in Canvas. And keep in mind that their Canvas and Skyward gradebooks should match perfectly. And if they do not, then that's something that their teacher needs to take care of. They can also view the course calendar here and see all their due dates in one place. And then you might want to encourage students to use the Canvas inbox to email any of their teachers that they are enrolled in a course for. They can also use this help feature down here, and this links them to Passport to Canvas, which is just some how-to videos that they can use to help them if they're troubleshooting. You can also use this course for yourself to try to see what students will see and what questions they might have. But right now, I'm going to jump into a course that I've shared with you, and you are a student in this course. You can kind of play around with it if you're interested. So this course has a module view, which means it takes students straight to modules. You might see some students that have courses with buttons. It's essentially the same thing, but that just kind of directs them where to go a little bit more specifically. But many of their courses will look like this in a module view. So this is the teacher view. I'm going to show you what it looks like in student view and try to navigate to a couple different things. So many courses will have just some course information with helpful links or things that they might go to on a daily basis. So for example, here is some virtual office hours that students might need to view, some protocols, some links. And if something doesn't load, specifically Google items, encourage students to click on that green authorize button and it will work for them. I'm a test student right now, and so this isn't going to load for me because I don't have a Google account as a test student, but that's okay. You can also encourage students to use these navigation bars here. If they click next, it will take them to the next activity in their module. So that's sometimes a helpful hint to get students through the material. The next item on the list is a discussion board. So if ever it says it's a discussion, that means that they're going to have to reply to a given prompt. Now, this is just a community post where they can share exciting information. They can go ahead and hit reply, and it will post to the entire group with their reply. And they can also respond to others within the discussion post. So they can go ahead and post that reply, and their response will show up here. If I'm looking at this response as another student, I can either like this or I can respond directly to this post. Another helpful hint for you as a teacher or a student is they can search for entries. So sometimes these discussion threads can get really long. So you can encourage students to search for certain names and it will kind of filter through what's going on. I'm going to navigate back to the home page of this course. Here's just a page of resources that students might see. So it has links to certain resources, important information just for them to read. You'll notice there's no grades attached or any directions for what they should do here, which means it's just a resource page that I need to look at. I can also come back to the home page and see that this is what the course material that I'm going to be asked to do for the week, okay? Now, this is overwhelming and students might have a hard time figuring out what the heck they're supposed to do. So teachers have been prompted to post an overview of the week or the unit at the very top of the module. So I would encourage students to come here first, and this will help them know what the heck they're supposed to do for the week. So here's an example of what an overview page might look like. It should have dates for when the class is meeting and what they are supposed to do during that week. So some teachers are using Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Slides to organize their weekly overview. So this could look different depending on the teacher. However, this should exist, and this should be where we direct students to start their week. So also another thing too, they might see their Zoom links to start their live sessions here. They also will have resources for what they're supposed to do each day. And if the teacher has done it correctly, this should link to directly to Canvas assignments that they need to do or things that they need to look at. Again, this is a Google item. I don't have a Google account for this test student, but if they're having trouble, they can always just click authorize to view that resource. Okay, so starting at that weekly overview is probably the #1 tip you can give to students. So here's an example of one type of assignment students might see. Here's a student survey. And if it says external tool, that means that it's linking to a Google account. Again, I don't have a Google account, so I can't show you. But anytime it says external tool for students, they should see a submit button here that asks them to complete right in this document and then hit submit. So external tool just means each student is getting their own copy of a Google Doc. Another type of submission you might see, we already talked about discussion threads, but you might see a file upload option. So for this one, it says students need to submit a file. So usually that's going to be a Google anything. So a Google slide presentation, in this case, a Jamboard. So if it says file upload, students are going to hit submit, and then they're going to choose a file from their Chromebook to add to this submission. If this doesn't work for students, direct students to go to Google Drive. What this will do, again, I don't have a Google Drive as a test student, but this will give them all of the files within their Google Drive to try to upload into this assignment, okay? Another option of a type of submission that students might see would be, let's see, this is an interesting one. So this says nothing, submit nothing. So usually what this means is it's going to be an in-class discussion, so students don't have to submit anything in Canvas. They just need to look at this and know that they're going to either do it face-to-face or maybe in their Zoom meeting. So if there's no submission type, that just means the teacher's not collecting anything from the students. And then also I wanted to show you this type. So this is also an external tool, which I talked about before, but sometimes teachers say that it's going to be uploaded or opened in a new window. So if students are having a hard time and they're not sure what they're supposed to do, have them look for this gray box, and this will pop out the Google Doc for them to complete in a separate page. Again, no Google account for this test student. And then finally, another option that you might see is a media recording. So this is kind of cool. So if it says you're submitting a media recording, students are going to click here, and then it's going to prompt them to record or upload from another site a video or an audio recording. So this will pop up a little video for them to try, and then they can go ahead and submit that video to the teacher. And I think that's it. There's no other real submission types that students have to worry about. The biggest thing that I think you can help students with is that organization and navigation. So prompting them to look at that calendar that the teacher has posted will help them figure out what they have to do, so they don't have to prompt or search through all of these different assignments that the teachers have posted within their modules. Some couple of options here too for you to look at. This grades is their Canvas grades. Again, Canvas and Skyward should match perfectly if things are done correctly, but they can check their grades here in the Canvas gradebook. And then this also will prompt them to pop out to Skyward. So if they want to check their Skyward grades, they can do that. And then there's also Zoom navigation tabs now that will take them straight to Zoom. And then two, again, there's always a to-do list. This is a to-do list specifically for this class. So again, they can click on any of these assignments and it will take them where they need to go for the day. And it helps to try to keep them organized. Once they've completed it or they want to get it off their to-do list, they can click the X button and it will go away. So hopefully that helps at least get you started, give you an idea of what students might ask you to help them with. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know.